Okay, all right. Thank you for our soon-to-be listeners tuning in to Pop Culture Droppings. This is JB. I got with me the ever-talking Russ and Mike.
I'm not the ever-talking Russ.
Okay.
You are
R-Train.
Right,
It's R-Train.
The long-running R-Train.
R-Train.
But
You gotta
you-
be this tall. Oh, wait. It's sound. I can't see it.
Exactly.
Fairly tall to ride the R-Train.
Okay.
Mike,
Yes.
introduce yourself.
I am Mike. I will be playing the host, trying to keep time restraint on these two. Our conversation is going along, and hopefully people find them very interesting.
That's very polite.
I
of
can't
you.
wait to start.
He means me. He's going to keep
We
me
talk too damn
inside.
much.
Yeah,
Yes, but that is the whole point of this podcast.
because I'm special.
You are very special. R-Train,
So special.
Um,
Yes, R-Train.
I might still refer to you as just Russ.
I prefer Russell.
I will murder you.
I know.
You can call me Wash.
Oh, okay, Wash works too. All right.
All right, then. Let's just get straight into it.
Call me Daddy.
Like
Big
that.
Papa Smurf.
All right. So we thrown around a lot of things before we started this. I couldn't get in touch with you. I should have got your number, and I will get it later.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah,
I
this
threw
is
down
scintillating.
Let me
what I
open
got.
something
I'm
up.
sorry. We got to start somewhere. But what I got from last time talking with R-Train over here.
Okay, now it's stupid. You can call me Russ.
Thank you. Top 20 movies to come out this year. And I want to start right there. We don't have to get through all of them because I jumped to 25 immediately realizing there's a lot of good movies and there's a lot of movies that should have been good and that are supposed to be good and might be bad.
All right. Let's keep it down to like a single reaction.
Well, okay. Well, for instance, I want to start with bad movies that people think would be good, like Terminator Genisys, because that's how it should be pronounced, not Genesis.
Genesis.
It's actually the
GENISY.
abbreviation for Generation ISIS. It's a strong support of a radical movement that the Terminator.
Yeah,
is
the
it's
Islamic
going to be
State
good.
in Iran and Syria. It's very topical, actually,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because it's a
So-
very topical, timely movie about time travel.
Yeah. Yeah. So-
I honestly, recently I got my little brother who's 10, and I got him really into the Terminator series. He loves Terminator, like
No.
all four of them. He's just obsessed.
Did you start with one or two?
We watched two because one is a little serious and I didn't know how he could handle it. But we watched 2, 3, and 4, and then he wanted to see the first one, so we watched it. And he goes nuts for it. He quotes him all the time. He's like, "I'll be back, Uzi 9mm," and stuff.
Chill out, dickwad.
Yeah. Hasta la vista. Chill out, Dick. Yeah, his voice keeps breaking with that like Flock of Seagulls haircut that Eddie Furlong had in the second one. But we went to see Mad Max in theaters. I'm a great guardian, by the way. I take my little brother to really
Yes,
hard.
you very
R-rated
are,
movies.
yeah.
You wish I was your guardian. when you were a
I'm
little kid.
glad.
But we saw the trailer, and he actually he turned to me and said the exact same thing I was thinking of. He said, "I don't want to see this movie anymore because I just saw the trailer, and they showed everything. If you've seen the latest trailer, they show every plot point of that movie,
Yes.
every big twist and turn, everything."
I was going to get to that because I had the theory they're going to jump. Sarah Connor and what's his name are going to jump into a time machine and go forward, which
No,
would be
that
the
is-
time
that's
period
the
that's
plot.
Terminator 2. Yeah, and then I got to saw them jump into a time machine at the last trailer, so I was like, now I know for sure I don't ever need to watch this movie.
Well, we don't really go to the movies that often, and he really wants to see a Terminator movie in theaters. I get that
Yeah.
impulse. I went to see Alien Resurrection in theaters because I was a fan of the first three, and it's easily the worst out of all of them.
Oh yeah,
If there's a pedigree, you kind of want to follow through with it. I wasn't certain I was going to like Live Free or Die Hard. No, Live Free or Die Hard was good. A Good Day to Die Hard. Those titles are getting monstrous, honestly.
I mean,
They're running out of John
Just
Locke
use some
quotes.
numbers.
Yeah, it should have been Die Hard 4.0 there.
yeah.
What's next on the list? Because Terminator is a pass. Wait till it comes out.
Well, I was jumping out of the list because the first one I went with the ones that already came out, like Furious 7. I didn't see it, but everyone raves about it.
When did this become a thing? The first one was pretty good. The second one was awful. The third one, I seem to be like one of the few people I know that actually loved the third
Now,
one.
was the third one Tokyo Drift?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I'm one of the
Tokyo
few ones that
Drift.
loved it, but I was a kid when I saw it, so it could be like Space
was-
Jam where I thought it was great, but really it wasn't all that great. Now, to me, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's
Space Jam is a
it's-
terrific film, and I'm kind of insulted that you just said that.
It is a giant commercial.
An amazing giant commercial.
It exists at all, and that's magical. But that is an entire subject on its own. We're talking about Fast and Furious, and we're talking about like order, and it like all of a sudden they made the fourth one, which wasn't good. Like, it was not a good movie. There are better car movies out there, and all of a sudden becomes this huge fucking deal. And now we're like on the seventh movie. And it's making billions of dollars. Like, it's just this freight train that's never going to stop.
I think that it got connected with like because the first ones were kind of okay and were mildly popular when they first came out, but by the time they got around to the fourth one, because of that time that they waited that little magical window where the kids who were now kind of teenagers seeing their older brothers and sisters and their parents and stuff watching the first ones, and so they thought that it was cool. So they kind of kept it cool. So it kind of became like a pop culture thing. And I think that's kind of my opinion about the
the generation that movies. It marketed to the same age group across two different generations.
Yeah. And then it just kind of became that popular
thing. It's a monster now. I mean, they announced they're getting rid of the Jaws ride, I believe, at Universal Studios, and putting in a Fast and Furious ride. Which looks like the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, they're getting rid of Jaws.
There is not enough in the universe. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
We're talking about
I absolutely agree with you.
A masterpiece.
Yeah, that you sat there and texted through the entire time.
No, okay, look, but I'm just saying that the movie is amazing. The ride... I mean, okay, but it was based off of something amazing, and Fast and the Furious, I don't think is on the same level at all.
When I went to Universal Studios the first time, it was like the mid '90s, like '94, '95, and they still had the Cylons from the original Battlestar Galactica. So like you go through, and they were sitting there, and they would shoot at each other, and then the flood would come through, and it was just there for like no good reason. But like I have nostalgia for that. But the Jaws ride, I mean, like that's a classic piece of Americana there. Like, part of that studio tour is seeing the Norman Bates house from Psycho, seeing where they filmed this and that. Like, it's an actual real backlot that you're going through in parts of it. And then the Jaws part is, I mean, it's part... Like, every poster for Universal Studios, whether it's in Hollywood or Florida, has fucking Jaws on it. That's one of their big linchpin things. It's like if they took away, like, Looney Tunes from fucking Six Flags or Snoopy from Knott's Berry Farm. It's like this iconic piece of that theme park.
And well, they are getting rid of it for the newest thing, which is, and the most ridiculous ride poster I've ever seen for any ride ever, because I think they're holding on to a helicopter after jumping out of what looks like to be a speeding car.
It's not even about cars anymore.
Like, it
was about car racing, and now they're like jumping out of planes and parachuting in them, and they have like...
It's just a generic action film.
But seriously, like, why don't they make...
Universal Studios has to stay relevant, you know, as sad as that is. I mean, kids aren't pouring in to see Jaws because... they
didn't grow up with Jaws.
So the studio tour, I mean, you can update the studio tour and still incorporate that aspect of it. That's a classic part of the aspect. It's like Disneyland without Mickey Mouse. Like, it's part of that park is going there and seeing that fake ass shark. I especially love when you go on that tour and they've drained the swamp that it's in, and you can actually see it's just on rails, and they're like, oh, hey, I guess what? It's a movie. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, King Kong burnt down. I mean, I remember when I was a kid.
That's the coolest thing I ever saw.
Giant robotic King Kong burnt down.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
One of the mini studio fires that happened there actually burnt down the King Kong. Now it's like a 3D movie show, kind of like, Captain Neo, where you go and you sit down in the studio and you watch like this giant King Kong based off the Steve Jackson one, but they don't have the...
You mean Peter Jackson?
Yeah, whatever. Same
You're
thing.
mixing up your nerd references.
Same thing. The Peter Jackson King Kong... and they don't have like the giant, fur-covered machine animatronic robot that used to scare the living shit out of me when I was about 8 years old.
Jaws scared King Kong didn't do it, but Jaws scared the crap out of me.
You've never been 10 feet away from a giant animatronic King Kong.
I have. I took it back when there were Cylons there.
Okay, all right.
I took it to back when there were Cylons there. All right.
Okay.
Name another movie that I can shit on.
We already did that. Avengers: Age of Ultron. We did this very well last week with our own conversation.
Yeah, but they don't know that. Listening.
To everyone listening,
but I want to remind you.
We have conversations that you're not invited to. So,
you're not part of the club.
Nerd.
But this time, try to keep it within 30 minutes.
I was not impressed with Age of Ultron. I had high hopes for it. I thought it was going to be good, and the trailers I saw didn't really seem like they're doing it justice. But then the first one, the trailers were pretty lackluster as well. I think it's something kind of consistent for the Marvel movies, is that the trailers look pretty crummy sometimes, but I was still looking forward to it. I still expected big things, and I felt like it didn't really deliver on any particular point. The character arcs weren't interesting. There wasn't any new big revelations about the universe that they exist in. There weren't any like new characters I really cared about, like Vision or the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And then they just spend forever on that farm. Me and John went to see it together, and you as we're walking out of the theater, I was like, hey, you remember in the original Ninja Turtles,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie?
yeah, when they're on the farm, they spend forever on the farm. Like he finished the sentence, he's like, yeah, the farm, they were on the farm forever.
April O'Neil's and they're drawing through them. I just thought that any moment that they would start drawing pictures of the Avengers and they would come to life, and it'd be like that scene where they're doing what
there's just a turtle, there's a giant turtle in the tub for no good reason. I don't know.
Yeah, but
to me it was disappointing. I think it's one of the weaker Marvel movies, to be honest.
I think that it really felt like they wanted to do some Hawkeye stuff, but instead of giving him his own movie, they just let him run away with the Avengers movie, which is great because he's a wonderful character, and they did kind of, just take everything away from him in the first movie and make him a robot. But in the second movie, you didn't have to give him the entire movie back to make up for that. You could have just kind of done maybe a Hawkeye movie. I mean, I'd go see that. There'd be no reason why I wouldn't.
Yeah, especially after Winter Soldier, they completely dissolve S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. So what do your S.H.I.E.L.D. members do? Like, what you can make a whole movie just about Scarlet, about Black Widow and Hawkeye going off doing spy stuff together, and then you could have that revelation about him having.
See, the thing is they have that S.H.I.E.L.D. series which ties into it, and it does really well. And I'm a fan of it personally. I know you're not.
I haven't even watched a single episode.
Yeah,
of it.
But it's really good, and it really does tie in, and it covers up a lot of loose ends. But it seems like they can't get some of the higher end actors to do it. So I mean, they could have just done half a season where, they show up and do some stuff. Black Widow and Hawkeye show up and do some stuff.
I mean, like, how hard? I mean, you're making like gobs of money off of this thing. You're already like international superstars because of this thing. Like, how big is your ego that you can't just sacrifice like a day or half a week to just make like a bit part in an episode of this series that's connected to the huge global franchise that you're a part of?
The thing is, do you believe that maybe they're getting tired of playing these characters? That maybe now, as we know, RDJ is the oldest one out of all of them, will most likely to be replaced in the next few years, maybe by next year.
I am honestly looking forward to that. I mean, like, I love Robert Downey Jr. I'm a fan of him, like, as an actor in general. I think he's really good, and I was a really huge fan of him before all the legal drug stuff in the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. And I was actually a little choked up when he started making that comeback. I went to see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and I was really choked up because I remember how much I loved him when I was younger, and now he's back, and he's just as good as he ever was. So I was really happy to see him playing Iron Man, but like his version of Iron Man is just getting tired. Like, it's the same smart ass jokes every time. It doesn't feel like he's gone through any kind of arc. It just feels like he's a rich asshole who gets to be a rich asshole because nobody calls him on it.
Well, I disagree with the last one that no one calls him on it, because Pepper Potts calls him on it, and that's why I like the relationship. She doesn't put up with him.
Yeah, all these actors seem kind of like disinterested in being these characters, and I don't know if there's some aspect of making these movies that is like really tedious to them, but it seems like at the same time, I guess maybe I'm a little prejudiced to being jealous of these people because I would really love to be working on those movies or have those kind of roles and stuff like that. But I don't look like Chris Hemsworth. Close.
That's very similar.
60 pounds. 60 pounds and a shave, and I would look. Yeah.
But what I've heard some actors and actresses talk about how they're just completely disinterested in the roles because they're not interested in the comic book characters themselves.
Yes, they didn't grow up with these
characters. So sometimes they didn't care about these characters, and it's just like as if you were to take your mom and put her in the role of this character because she looks the part. I mean, she's not going to want to play it for 6 years straight, but I'm sure she would take the money the first time. So what I think is, and I agree, there's really nothing going on with the Iron Man arc in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let Robert Downey Jr. go do something else, and have him come back with Avengers 3. Just drop the whole Iron Man film so you can, squeeze in some other stuff in there, get some other great characters going on. I mean, Ant-Man, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Ant-Man. Right? Oh, yeah. No, they're not scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
No.
I would rather see a fucking Moon Knight movie. I would rather see a Howard the Duck movie
How
I
about
wouldn't go
Silver
that
Surfer
far.
movie? That would have been nice.
They did. That was the only part of that movie that they got right was Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Silver Surfer needs a movie. Is
that would
he
be the
connected directly to the Fantastic Four? I mean, is there a reason why the
Oh God,
Marvel
John,
Cinematic
really?
Universe can't?
Yeah, he's one of like the central figure. He's popular because he was in the Fantastic Four.
See,
he was the herald to Galactus.
I
Then
never was
Jack
into
Kirby.
Fantastic Four.
Then Jack Kirby did a whole series around him. Mobius did a series from him in the '70s. He was the launching point for what they call Cosmic Marvels. So
Oh, no, I
Guardians of
love
the
Cosmic
Galaxy,
Marvel.
Starjammers, Thanos, and all that stuff really stems from the popularity of Silver Surfer.
I'm just saying that, like, so Fox, right? They own Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they own the rights to
Silver
movies with
Surfer and Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom, Galactus. There's a lot of stuff that's attached to.
But wait, Galactus has never been in a Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
film.
you know that, but you don't know that that Silver Surfer's intrinsically linked to the Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, I'm anoracking all over you right now.
Okay, all right. Well, still, like I said, never a Fantastic Four fan.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
They suck.
No,
It's
really.
always sucked.
That's boring.
It's a boring concept.
Well-
It's not interesting.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because as we know it coming out this fall is the rebooted Fantastic Four movie
AKA an attempt to hold on to the licensing and the rights.
by Fox.
If you
is
can tell
important.
from my statements before, I'm not too enthusiastic about the Ant-Man movie. I am by far and away way like 1,000 times more interested in seeing the Ant-Man movie than I am in the new Fantastic Four. That's how little I give a shit about the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Which-
I
like,
don't
it's
even know
just-
why they're. I mean, just
They look
to hold on to it. It's an ash can film.
They look
made
crappy.
To hold on to it.
Yeah, they look bad. They don't look. The movie looks bad. It's nothing like the comic at all. I mean, you could make a really cool like little adventure movie. Like take them to the the Lost World. Like there's this hidden continent underneath Antarctica where like it's just all primeval jungle and dinosaurs and where the Inhumans live. Like take them there and have like Doctor Doom involved and stuff. You can make like a cool like Johnny Quest like fucking adventure movie about
Yeah.
it. But they don't. They just made like the most turgid, fucking boring thing they could,
And-
Yeah.
and just
no.
pooped it out. And, there
And
you
kids
go.
will pour in to see it, and so their parents will take them to see it. So it'll be what everyone thinks that the Fantastic Four is. And I mean, honestly, I think that that's really a sad statement because that's where the movies are going with the comic book movies now. In
just
my opinion, if
peripherals
it's
for
not
the-
made by Marvel Studios, it's just kind of like a big, middle finger to the fans. And if it is made by Marvel Studios, it's even still made
Well,
to
it's-
keep the cinematic universe going so that
It's
they can continue to
catering
sell.
to the
the
thing
products.
about like there are comic book fans and there's comic book movie fans. And
Right.
I don't mean that to be dismissive because there are a lot of people who are now fans of the comics because the movies are popular and they're like,
Which is
oh, well,
great.
I like the movie a lot, so I'm going to start reading the comic. And
That's the only way to
cool and
keep the
stuff.
comic books alive.
Yeah, but at the same time, the comics have greatly diminished in quality since the popularity of the movies have really taken over. Like I've had to suffer through like 15 years of terrible X-Men movies. I know they're popular, but every single one of them is just awful. And as a
Awful.
fan of those comics, it's just really frustrating to see all these storylines that I know well and characters I like just get kind of butchered and ham-handedly forced together and stuff like that for really no good reason. Like Gambit is in the Wolverine prequel, and it doesn't even make sense why he would be there or why he has any connection to the story.
Oh, because
at
he's
all.
popular.
All because he's popular. Emma Frost has a cameo in that, even though it doesn't make any chronological
Yes.
sense. You
Yeah.
know, and then they try to go and do this retroactive continuity thing, which really didn't make any sense. The whole series just sucks. And
I don't know. I really I got to stop you there because Days of Future Past was an amazing film. I do
Days
love
of
Jennifer
Fu-
Lawrence and Mystique.
I think that was the best one
Days
yet.
of Future Past had one cool aspect, and it was that first scene where it was all the mutant resistance fighting
Yeah.
against the Super Sentinels.
Wait, you didn't even like the Quicksilver part? Because I thought that was one of the better parts of the
Okay.
movie.
I think
John
Quicksilver
and
was
I-
better in Days of Future
Oh, by
Past
far.
than he
That was a cool sequence. But the thing is, they made him way too powerful, and then they completely take him out of the whole movie. Like, that sequence is cool, but it kind of comes out of nowhere, and he's so broken in terms of
Yeah.
power level. Like, this is
It would
John-
have eradicated the entire rest of the need for the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
every
if
scene-
you can move that quickly and have that much control over a situation, like consistently, then like nothing can stop you. Nothing
Yeah.
can stop you. Like that, he's like one of the most powerful mutants in existence, and he really isn't. There's a huge limitation to his powers.
That's why in the second Avengers film, Joss Whedon I think got it right with the whole like every time he'd stop, he's panting and kind of heaving. And
Yeah.
he
Yes,
looked
you saw him.
like he's just actually like using up It's like somebody, running at full speed for 5-10 minutes. You can't. You have to stop and breathe.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of an interesting, limitation to his powers. Whereas in the Days of Future Past, it's just like, oh, here's a character who's ultimate and can do whatever we want. So let's go ahead and leave him at home for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that if he continued with us, then the whole rest of the film is kind of pointless.
Yeah, there's no need for the rest of the people.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Bryan Singer choreographs his action sequences. It just seems to be a sequence. It doesn't seem to have any place with everything else. And it seems to just be kind of like a shot. Like, here's a cool shot that's like The Matrix. Here's another cool shot that's like The Matrix.
Like skits. Like he's running skits.
It's like little skits. You can X2 is always lauded as like the best out of the whole series, and it has its moments. I like the production design for the first two movies. I thought that I like the black leather. I thought that was a cool choice, but I don't like the actors that they chose. None of them were particularly bad actors, but I didn't like the casting for the characters. It just didn't feel right. Except for Professor X, they got that right. But then they have Ian McKellen playing Magneto, and it just feels like he's this frail old man. And Magneto is this huge fucking guy. He's like 6'5".
Yeah,
he's like the size of a linebacker.
Which Sir Ian McKellen is an amazing actor. He did reinvent the role of Magneto. I think coming in and looking at it now, he is Magneto.
Yes.
But comparing him to the comic book version, he was very drastically different.
I like him as an actor, and I think he does a fine job in the movies. But I'm not a fan of that version of the character.
Yeah.
But the first movie has that amazing sequence where the brainwashed Nightcrawler tries to kill the president, and that was like gorgeous. That was just like perfect. Like the way they did his powers, the way he moved, the whole thing was just really well done, I thought. And to me as a comic book fan, you want to have that feeling when you're watching it, like, oh crap, that's so cool that they can do this stuff. And you never actually see people use their powers that often in comic book movies. Like the best parts of comic book movies are seeing them use their powers. In the action movies, they rarely if ever use their powers. Well, when Wolverine cuts the shotgun in half and like pops the middle claw while he's like skewering the other guy's neck against the wall.
Yes.
Those little things are cool, but you don't see enough of that.
That reminds me of the movie, and I grew up on this as a kid for sure. I doubt you guys did. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah,
that was a horrendously bad movie, and I am a fan.
Oh yeah.
Yo, no, M. Night Shyamalan made it impossible for people to use their powers correctly.
I walked out.
Yeah,
I waited for it. My friends, their kids, or wanted to watch some movies, and they were smaller kids. And of course, when I was closer to their age when I first came out.
He gets to the Southern Air Temple, and he goes all Super Saiyan, and the tornado shows up, and she just walks through it, and I was just like, I'm done. I can't do it. I walked out. I got my money back. And I didn't even because I do this often because like movies are expensive. So if it's a movie I really want to see and it's just sucking, like if a movie sucks in the first 45 minutes, it's probably going to suck for the rest of the other like hour and 15 minutes.
And what is that term that you now call yourself to make sure? It was not a cinema snob. I'm becoming a cinema snob because I'm loving or hating things. You are a cinemaphile? Cinephile.
You can look it up. Cinephile. Yeah. I like movies. Yeah. Like a necrophile or a scatophile.
Well,
Yeah, I got to that point. I walked out, and every time that I've done it fairly often enough that I know this procedure. And they come in and they ask you why, because they want to know if it's a technical thing or if somebody's being rude in the theater. They can send security,
so they can fix it,
or if you just don't like it. And a lot of times it's just like, yeah, I'm just not into it. I just want to get my money back, see something else.
Yeah, I pooped myself. I need to.
And
I pooped myself.
I need to leave.
I need some help. But no, I walked up and I said, I was like, I'd like to get a refund for my ticket. And she's like, okay, what movies did you go see? Last Airbender. Oh yeah. She just made this little face.
She knew.
She already knew. Yeah.
Another one. We got another one, Phil. Yeah.
Okay. Here, they're already pre-filled out. Just sign here.
All right, I'm gonna jump one more time off topic, and we'll get back to the movie list.
All right.
Because I haven't talked to anyone about this, but the new Spider-Man was announced. Tom Holland.
Is he? He's some cute pubescent white boy.
Oh, you know it.
Oh
okay,
yeah, no,
yeah.
He's actually he's got the Justin Bieber hair going on and everything.
He looks to be about 14. I'm pretty sure he's a little bit older than that.
I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna get on my soapbox, and I'm gonna keep it under 5 minutes. But I would like to make my case.
Okay, all right.
Try to make me laugh while you do it. Then
I would like to make my case.
Make his case
that Spider-Man should be played by a black guy, and I don't think that they should make an adaptation of the Miles Morales storyline. I think that they should just have a black guy playing Peter Parker, because Spider-Man's such an iconic character. It's the 21st century. It's in all possibility that there is some young kid in Queens who's just just find some handsome black kid who's funny and make him play the character.
Jaden Smith.
I would actually go with a little bit older, and definitely older. Michael B.
I don't know,
Jordan.
so long as Jaden Smith doesn't make that face, I think he could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
no one likes the face.
I think that because I've had this argument before where I'm like, why can't Iron Man or Batman or any famous comic book character be played by a black guy? Like that to me seems to reinforce the kind of open-minded sensibilities that exist nowadays.
I had the same kind of view and opinion. I was arguing with a friend of mine about it. I was like, why do characters have to be portrayed, and then, pandering and stuff? A lot of the times, like, if they do something like that, I think that the problem is that they would shift the focus to be about, like, kind of like this nudge, like, the entire time. Like, when they make a film about an action star who's a female, the whole entire film is just kind of like, get it? She's a girl.
Yeah.
And so I feel
Or
like
they
the whole
always have her,
time
like,
it would be
half
like
naked or
it'd be
crying
like
in the shower or something. Yeah.
It's a black guy. See?
It's all how you handle it,
Ah.
and you don't treat it like a thing. Like, you can even have that's the one thing I have, like, one positive aspect I have of the newest Fantastic Four is that the Storm family is black, and they adopted Susan Storm, so she's just a white girl in a black family, and I like that. That feels modern. That feels relevant, and it's not. They don't treat it like it's a thing. It's not like as a proud black man who has superpowers. It's like no. It's just they because
they're just a normal
Careful,
family.
you are complimenting the new Fantastic Four film.
Well, credit where credit's due. I'm not. I mean, I can talk all the shit I want, but I think that to me, I thought was a pretty strong move. I mean,
that's probably the most original thing I think they've come up with in a in a comic book movie in a while.
Yeah, why does like the most interesting thing about Falcon was that he was a black guy, and there's no people of color in there's no. You and I had this conversation, Mike, before that there's no Latinos in any comic book movie.
I do remember bringing up, and that's why I wish they bring in Miles Morales, because two birds with one stone.
And
He
Miles
is
Morales
black.
is a
He's
great
half
character,
black.
too.
And yes, and I don't
thing
know
is- the
much
thing
about Miles Morales. I want to learn more about Miles Morales. I wish they would put him in movies.
Miles Morales is a really compelling character, despite the fact. I mean, think about it. Everybody's talking about open-mindedness and being equal and fair to everybody. So all of a sudden, Marvel puts
Diversity.
out a gay, a bisexual,
They're bisexual now.
a poor bisexual, half black, half Latino superhero.
Yeah, I mean, he fits. pretty
That
much
could
the
not
mold.
be more on the nose if it was picking its nose.
You might
It's
not know this,
just-
but actually, his great grandmother on his mother's side was Asian, and she was married to a Native American.
Yeah.
He fit pretty much.
who
any-
survived the Trail of Tears.
Wait, time out.
because
Are you
of a
being
time
serious?
slip.
No, I'm
Okay,
making
good.
all of it
Survived the
up entirely.
Trail of Tears because of a time slip that Mephisto created. But there's
Yeah.
also, and he's also
Yeah.
half Jewish as well.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
he-
why I hate
they
not
are
knowing the
Jewish
comic book
faith.
characters.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, you just
He's
kind of
half
pin the
Ashkenazi.
tail on diversity here.
Yeah, no, I
and
feel
just
like-
kind of shove
Yeah.
it in there.
I just want them to bring a kid who's half black, half Mexican from the Bronx, trying to grow up and be Spider-Man, actually going through the pains and not being like closer to his 20s
Well,
and
I
actual.
think though that because
Something
Hollywood
different.
is predominantly white and predominantly male, they don't tend to really think about that. They just tend to represent themselves.
And
you
well,
know?
they also just kind of take from the characters in the books, which were created by
Predominantly
an
white,
old
predominantly
Jewish white guy.
well,
from,
I found
from
that's
New York.
Superman's old creator. It was one white guy, one Jewish guy, and it just created Superman out of nowhere.
Oh well, Stan Lee was
Stanley is hella Jewish, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
that's why I changed his name to Stan Lee.
it's Stanley Leibowitz, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's but
Did not know that.
like for instance, they recently changed Ghost Rider is now a Latino guy. His name's Robbie Reyes, and my thought is why do we have to do the
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. Let's have Robbie Reyes be the new Ghost Rider. Do West Coast Avengers. You got the rights. Come on, let's get Hawkeye and Songbird and War Machine. Let's actually give War Machine something to do. He's literally like one of 3 black guys in the entire Marvel universe. There aren't even
Marvel
like
Cinematic
black.
Universe.
There aren't
Yeah.
even
And
like
he doesn't
black
even show up.
villains in that movie. The villains are like Nazis. Like like seriously. Like there's like 4 chicks, most of which don't none of them have superpowers.
Yes,
Wait, hold on.
except for now.
Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
If you can tell me what her superpowers in that movie was, I'll give you $1.
Okay, all right. I'm ready for that dollar. She
Dude,
can
I already told you
manipulate
this.
reality.
No, in the comics she can. In the movie, she does whatever the fuck she wants.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what
All
that
right,
is.
yeah.
And I was drinking that night. That's why my whole thing was Avengers 2 was a good movie, a good popcorn movie, because I can't illustrate much what went on, but I do remember great banner, great action scenes, actually too much action at one point at the end where I had like try to put them all in one space
Yeah.
to
Where did
defend
Hulk
that
go?
thing.
Huh?
That was still all focused on Hawkeye, even the action scenes. Where did Hulk go? They show him he lunges off to the left, and then like 35, maybe 40 minutes of just nonstop action, and all of a sudden
yeah.
he shows back up, and it's like he had to have killed like maybe like 300 of those robots. He's just ripping them in half,
Yeah.
like 10
Well,
at
no,
a time.
There's a lot of questions like that. Like what was Hulk doing for most of that movie? What was Ultron doing? Like what was Ultron's plan? What was Ultron's deal? Like he just kind of shows up and it's like the biggest deal ever.
Yeah, the only
And then
thing
he
they
just
gave you
kinda-
was
he
daddy
just-
issues.
Yeah, like that's a weak motivation.
I will be the ultimate dick. No one will be as big a dick as I
My
am.
father is an asshole. So wait, if Tony Stark is his father, does that make Bruce Banner his mother?
I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's
he's got two
delightful.
daddies.
That's delightful.
Okay, two daddies.
Yeah,
You got
this is
equality.
yeah.
See, and you were just complaining about no equality in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And
Right
now he has two daddies.
there. two daddies, two fathers. Yeah,
They are science bros. They're a little
Yeah.
too close.
yeah, and multicultural. One is very rich white American. The other one is green. So
Let's not forget the green Americans.
come on.
Hashtag Americans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know. I don't like to harp on that because I feel like it's on the nose kind of a topic. But most of my extended family are half Latino. I don't mean like a little bit, like a lot. Like
we do come in a lot.
My uncle and my aunt are both from Mexico.
Oh.
On
Yep.
both sides of my family. So all of my cousins, all 11 of my cousins, are half Mexican and like real deal Mexican.
Let me tell you,
not, like,
that's
you
not
know,
a lot of
like,
cousins.
Yeah, that's not very many at all.
Well,
Yeah.
we're white.
Okay, well, that's the half white side.
Yeah.
Yeah, the half white.
That's why there's
side.
only half as many cousins.
Okay.
But
Not big
you know,
extended family, but
actually-
yeah, it's a lot of.
I did one time have a debate with a friend of mine about that, about like being pandered to. I said, how do you feel about like being pandered to, like when the female character just gets naked, for no apparent reason, don't you feel like you're being pandered to? Like someone sitting there going, yeah, and nerds will like this and nerds will like that, like here's what you want. And the only point that I think the most valid point that he had, at the very least, was, what if they made a Martin Luther King film where Martin Luther King was, Latino or something like that? Is it pandering to the African American community to make Martin Luther King black in every movie that he's ever been represented in?
It's all in how you deal with that story.
What about the story of Muhammad Ali? You know what I mean? The great boxer. Why does he always got to be black in every film that he's in? Is that pandering
I
to the culture?
You're talking about. You're making an argument about like how much will an audience accept versus like what is acceptable.
Yeah.
And, I think reasonably. They do this a lot in. Like classical theater when they would do like Elizabethan era plays and stuff, predominantly Shakespeare. They don't really think about gender or anything like that because unless it really needs to be like I've seen a production of Midsummer Night's Dream where the male and female roles were all reversed, and
Yeah.
it totally worked.
And it works
It
fine.
totally worked, and it was hilarious.
Well,
But you can
Yeah.
do things like that, and in theater it's a little acceptable because you have a little bit more time to engage with those characters, a little bit more personal. But on film, since it's so mass media, everybody's gonna like throw their little hashtag on that bullshit
Yeah.
and attach all their kind of cultural baggage to it. So I think reasonably so. I think any ethnicity can play any character so long as you do that character justice. Like, Othello doesn't have to be played by a black guy or a white guy in blackface in order to be a compelling character, because
Yeah.
the kind of political ethos that play is based in doesn't really exist nowadays. So it's really,
Yes.
so you have to, it's harder to make that sell, like making a samurai movie that doesn't have Japanese actors playing the samurai.
oh gosh. That reminded me. I'm gonna get on Transformer later because I finally watched that movie.
Which
So
one?
now we get back number 4. Now we get back on it together. But I wanted to go back to John thing that you said about it. Probably more character, and I could be completely wrong because I want to put out to the public. I grew up Catholic, Roman Catholic,
Uh-huh.
but I love Dogma. The
yeah, it's a great movie.
Smith. Yeah, I'm like, why can't Jesus be black? He grew up in an era where people weren't white at all, but
Yeah.
he's protected in art, and I understand why he was protected as white.
There's a lot of historical evidence that there was a person named Yeshua who was more than likely, according to the research, some studies I've said, no, it's controversial, but
Yes.
that say that he was actually Middle Eastern, like Persian, Arab, because he was from that area, you know. So,
Well, this all took
so
place
he was,
in the middle,
he was more like-
Jerusalem.
yeah,
All this
in
is
the-
in the Middle East.
in the Bible,
Yeah.
he's described as having skin of bronze and hair like sheep's wool. That doesn't sound like a black guy or a white guy. That sounds like a Middle Eastern guy to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was a white guy. I don't think he was Caucasian. I think he looked like people who lived in that area at the time.
Absolutely agree. And
Yeah.
most likely would probably make him black, but more
He could have
than
been dark
white.
skinned. He could
but
have been
my
North
whole
African. He
yes,
could have been a lot of things. There's even people who theorize that he was actually a Buddhist monk from India.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's looking at the Bible from a historical sense, and that's another episode.
yes, that's
Oh,
all.
yeah,
Hold
let's
on, that thing
not
we
go
get in
there.
later.
Yeah.
I would just like I didn't mind that take at all. I didn't hate it because it was like a lot of Christian groups hated it. But one of the things is that I learned in art history, probably one of the only things I learned in art history was the reason why Jesus looks white in every portrait painting is because all the paintings came mainly from the Renaissance era, where everyone was white,
I believe
and of
Yep.
course they didn't know
Raphael
what to
actually-
predict him as
Raphael
put
would
himself.
actually make Jesus look a little like him.
Him,
It
yes.
it wasn't uncommon for painters in the Baroque the Renaissance Baroque period to actually insert themselves in like important fixtures. And like I know that Caravaggio painted himself as David and Goliath in his famous painting of David holding the head of Goliath.
See,
Well, Da Vinci allegedly they got some really cool X-ray machines and went down a few layers deep and seen the paintings that the Mona Lisa was painted over, and they think that it originally started off as a self-portrait of himself, and then he just kind of was messing with it and repainting over it and again, and eventually ended up looking more like a female and just went with it.
Some people also
And-
think that that God in the Sistine Chapel is a kind of really like him with a beard, basically. It's
Yeah.
just Michelangelo with a beard.
and for me, one of my favorite artists, Francisco Goya, one of his paintings of the royal family, he has he painted the queen, but if you look on her finger, I forgot which one it is. No, she's pointing to the ground where it says his name, pointing that they were lovers. Now, whether or not true, who knows? But
They
he
had a
put his
lot of
name
time
into
back
it.
then, yeah,
exactly.
like-
They put some stuff in there where people would see, because in the dirt where she's pointing would say his name.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
And on the ring too, I think, or I forgot what was on the ring. There was with the finger with the ring pointing down. I think
Something
it
to
said
do with the
names.
finger. I
That's
don't know.
ballsy. It's stupid.
I think it
but
was the
ballsy.
king's name, but he was pointing down, and his name was in the dirt.
Hey,
That she was, yeah,
Hey Goya, I just noticed that my wife is pointing at your name. You know I'm the king, right?
yeah.
I could just have you killed on like a whim. Are you banging my wife? No. I wanted to bring attention to the fact that I painted the painting. I mean, it's about you guys, but I also wanted to get some credit.
Exactly.
I wanted people's eyes to be drawn. They're gonna look at your beautiful. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna look at your children, your beautiful wife, and then you're gonna look down.
How
and they're gonna
amazing you
see my
two are.
name.
You
Yeah,
two
they're
look very much in love,
If
by
you
the way,
want,
might I
if you
add.
want an amazing painting, come to this guy. Come to Goya.
Goya's crazy. That's why I loved at the end of his death. He created those. I forgot how many it was. The dark paintings, wherever they're called.
Yeah, where he was going nuts. He was
He was
like,
going nuts.
Yeah,
He was
I think
painting
he
all
like,
these paintings-
dying of syphilis or
Who
something.
didn't go nuts? I mean,
All
you
of
know,
those, yeah. Every,
my favorite
every
was
painter every great painter like dies horribly.
Yeah,
I kinda forget what the
and
story
while
was.
going insane.
I forgot what the story was, but he was just painting on his walls, like not caring, like whatever. And like in his living room, he's
Well,
just like, I
you
just
can't
want to
take his
paint
paints
here.
home with him. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
die,
Yeah,
you gotta
towards the end of
use 'em.
Monet's life, he actually had cataracts and lost the ability to see anything other than yellow color. So he actually had the lens in one of his eyes pulled out, and he could see like an infrared in one eye. So as an experiment, he went outside and he painted a scene before the operation, after the operation with his bad eye open. After the operation with his new like lensless eye open. So there's all three of those versions of how he actually saw the world, and all three of them are just undecipherable. So it's kind of tragic because he was so horrified by the fact that he'd lost his sight that he started destroying a lot of his later paintings, which are the ones that he's most famous for.
Yeah.
But we're about 8 city blocks from what we originally started.
Yes,
this on.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Name another movie title that I can shit all over.
Yeah, come on. There'll be something good on that list.
Well, I was
Mad
going to give you
Max.
Mad Max, but I guess Jurassic
Mad Max
World
is
would have to
amazing.
do.
If you have the ability to see it in theaters, I know it's been out for about a month. I saw it twice. I generally
It's
do
still
not.
out on theaters. It's
I
still out on
generally
theaters.
do not go to see movies more than once.
No,
You know, I think the
who's got $40 in their pocket to go see a movie?
I mean,
twice?
to give you an idea, I was so enthralled with that movie. I went to see it twice during finals.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there studying for my final, and as I'm looking for information online, I'm on Fandango. What am I doing? I'm spending $13 to see it in 3D. I hate seeing things in 3D. What am I doing? I'm sitting there in the theater saying I'm going to go out. I'm going to get my money back, and I'm going to go back home and I'm going to study. And then it started up, and I was just completely enraptured with that movie for both times I saw it, to the point where I was actually tense. I was like, oh no. The second time I saw it, I was just as engaged the first time I saw it. I really desperately want to see it a third time. The second it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it.
So you didn't like it?
I'm never this enthusiastic about movies.
You heard
it's so good that it reminded me why I go to the movies. Because you get jaded watching movies so often and having seen so many movies. That's why I go to see the movies, to feel that way.
I don't know. I just saw two good movies over the weekend that have already been out. Gone Girl and Whiplash. And
Whiplash is amazing. Whiplash is fucking great. It's so good. It's so good.
Right.
Not as good as Mad Max, but it's definitely it's maybe 3 notches down. It's up there.
Let me throw out a title out there. Jurassic World. That just came out.
I was about to bring that up. I wish I saw
it.
No, I went early. Want to see it at 9:30 here in Ontario. And my problem was I had to watch it in 3D because it was the earliest one, and I didn't want to get caught there with everyone else on a Sunday.
See, I went out on a Sunday and waited in line for 2.5 hours because the each showing that we wanted to see was sold out, and so we ended up waiting in line. And I think it was amazing. I think it was an absolutely amazing movie.
I only got into the build-up. Because the projector broke 3 times thanks to 3D or whatever it was, ETX. The projector broke and restarted and went back 5 minutes. So we start beginning 5 minutes into it, restart all the way back to the beginning of the movie. Went 10 minutes into it, went back 5 minutes, and it just kept doing that. And I finally left on the 4th try. I got tired of trying it, but I was so into the movie at that point. I got to the Raptors. No. It was the second they were around the Raptors' cages, and it was the military guy trying to buy the Raptors as weapons.
To get
I got to that point.
The military guy.
I get this feeling that I'm going to see it and I'm going to be disappointed with it because that's all I'm hearing. Even before it came out, was that it's amazing. Everyone's going to go nuts for it, and everyone I've spoken to is it's amazing, it's amazing, amazing. And I don't know, I hate being the contrarian, because I usually my tastes are usually countered to whatever's popular. And I always feel like such a dick for being like that, I never seem to like the popular thing. I hated Gone Girl.
Wait, how did you? Gone Girl surprised me.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid.
It surprised me. I did not realize how many.
Every movie does not need a fucking twist. Every movie does not need a fucking twist, and that was a stupid twist. But the point, I'm nervous to go see it because I don't want to go to see it and just be hating on it. And if I go to see it and I like it, then I'm not special anymore. So I'm just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
With Vincent D'Onofrio as the military guy that you were talking about, I mean, he's an amazing actor.
It's eerie how much he looks like my dad.
It's
seriously my dad and
Vincent D'Onofrio is my dad. Okay, so if we could just
Vincent D'Onofrio and my dad, it's uncanny how much they look like.
But the point is, amazing actor. He does a lot of amazing stuff. But that movie was just, I think, really well done. I think that Chris Pratt was the manliest man that I've ever seen in a movie in the last 20 years.
More so than Indiana Jones?
Yes. I'm telling you.
He's bringing that up because I told him that most likely if there's going to be new Indiana Jones, guess who's going to be Indiana Jones?
Who?
Chris Pratt.
Oh, nice. Yes, I think that...
I think he's too smarmy. That's
Let's hold off on that and let him finish his first.
No, his stuff's stupid. My stuff is better.
I'm interested in Jurassic World, though.
So the film it's got just great action, good solid story, compelling characters. Chris Pratt does an amazing job. They skimp on the science when they need it to be entertaining, and
the first movie.
Like the first movie, yeah. I mean, everyone thinks that the Deinonychus has these frills on the side of its head and spits venom. You know what I mean? But
Velociraptors were 2 feet tall and had feathers.
And they kind of started to fix them a little bit because they seem a lot shorter in this one.
This time they were 5 foot. Last one, I think they were 6 foot.
I think because they did it with CG, the original Raptors were actually a dude in a suit. So they had to be a little bit bigger, but I think also because they want Chris Pratt to seem like he has more physical presence with them.
Oh man, he does though.
I did get to the point. Yeah,
presence. The guy is.
I did get past at one point where the guy falls into it and he goes and saves them. And in that moment, I was like, "Oh man, are they?" I knew what was going to happen, but I was like, "Oh man, those things are going to pick him up."
Yeah, and now the whole movie is just really. I think they did a good story, good characters. Everything's really well done. They didn't sacrifice anything, for the sake of entertainment. But at the same time,
I might go see it, but I'm busy.
I would wait then come on DVD or Redbox, but I'm telling you, I felt like it was going to be a good movie for the 40 minutes I got
I
into
think
it.
I'm probably going to go see it later this week.
I'll
but
probably go see it again this weekend. Is what I was thinking. Maybe go see that. Maybe
you're going to see that, but you're not going to go see Mad Max. Mad Max will blow your fucking mind.
Well, I was going to definitely go see Terminator. So
what would you rather see? CG monsters flapping around, picking people up, and more CG bouncing off of each other, or a guy with a flame-throwing guitar riding on top of a truck made out of amps, with a whole bunch of dudes on taiko drums behind him?
I've got an affinity for dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Russ. I'm with him because I grew up watching.
Flame-throwing guitar.
I grew up watching Jurassic Park
So
as
what?
a 6-year-old.
I grew up watching
And I love dinosaurs.
Transformers. I still fucking hated Transformers. You're
Yeah,
not
okay.
a slave. You're not a slave to your fucking.
Let's save the hate for Andy because I really want to go down the list. I want to go there because I couldn't believe how awful that movie was.
Transformers 4 is
God,
Is
Hell
it as
on
bad
wheels.
as part 1?
it's worse.
it is.
I think they're all
so bad.
awful. I mean,
This-
I've only seen 2.
This is the
Is that
worst by
1 and 2?
far.
3
Not
actually
not
had
part 2, but
the thing
1
about
and
3
2.
was that they had James Cameron as a technical assistant. I had to do a project where I talked about I had to do a media project in a class I took where I had to dissect these movies and their effect in culture and stuff. So I had to watch all 3 of them. But watching the first one's horrible. The second one is just inane and stupid, even more so. And the third one. Basically, what you do is anytime human beings are talking, you just skip forward.
Oh, that's what I did with the 4th one at the end because I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
The difference
But
between
there's
the fourth
none
one,
of them.
the 4th one and the 3rd one is the 3rd one. They actually literally had to slow down because they were making it in 3D. James Cameron said, James Cameron was a technical consultant on the movie, and he said to Michael Bay, in no uncertain terms, to quote, he's like, look, I know how you like to shoot. You want motion in every single shot. You can't do that. The cameras won't sustain the image. They won't sustain the stereoscopy. If you want the audience to get the feel of the 3D, you need to slow the fuck down. He's like, slow down your editing, slow down your shots, compose your shots the way you want to compose them because you have a very distinct style, but you're going to need less cuts and longer takes on each particular shot. And that's why the action sequences in the 3rd one are quite a bit better than any others. It's still just as stupid as the other 3.
Yeah.
But the 3rd one actually has some cool, the wingsuit scene, or we're in the building and it's being ripped apart and they're falling down the side and stuff. Those are some cool scenes. Those are cool action beats.
Now,
it's still a fucking
you
stupid
insulted
movie.
Space Jam at the beginning of this as
Space
being
Jam
way
is-
too much commercialism, but
They
what the
teased
hell?
you with Bill Murray, and you got Bill Murray for not even 5 minutes in the whole movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at
I love Bill
look
Murray,
at the
by the way.
first Transformers movie. It was Nokia this,
To
Mountain
give,
Dew
yes.
that.
to give you an idea between the first movie and the third movie.
GMC. I mean, how
To give
much
you an
did
idea, between
Remind me
the
how
first
bad that
movie
is.
and the third movie, the
Face.
first movie has 40 products mentioned or seen by name. 40 products.
Oh,
The 4th film has 111.
It is so bad. I mean, the Bud Light
Fucking
one was
everywhere.
probably the funniest, but it was just awful at the same time.
Yeah, it's a mockery of what it is, and I think that's I mean, you got to make money to make a movie. They're not cheap, but
I think there's a difference between being, making a choice that's kind of commercially driven and that's going to help you sell more, hit a broader audience. That's fine, but to completely compromise any kind of
I think-
pathos or any the entire story is a slave to. It's a whore. It's just whoring itself out.
yeah, I think
for
my
money.
favorite example of good commercialism in a movie, done right in a right way that wasn't kind of imposing, is in Spider-Man when he's shooting the webs with the Dr. Pepper cans. It didn't feel like it was yeah, Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. Drink Dr. Pepper. But at the
Peter
same
Parker-
time, it was
Peter
yeah, you
Parker-
see the Dr. Pepper cans, you know that Peter Parker drinks Dr. Pepper.
Peter Parker pecks me as a Dr. Pepper man.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Piper picked a no, yeah, Dr. Peter
She
Parker.
sells seashells by the seashore. Red leather, yellow leather.
Okay.
But no, yeah. Or I thought you were going to say Back to the Future, where they mention a lot of different products
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that. But I think again, it kind of contrasts the fact, he orders a Pepsi back then, and he orders all these different sodas and stuff, and they're not making money off of that. It's just those are common products. It's like when I go to a restaurant, I want to say I'd like a liter of cola.
Yeah.
unless I'm trying to make John laugh. I go and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a fry and a large Coke. I just say Coke. It's part of the vernacular. So I'm not necessarily like sometimes that stuff is just there. Like, you know, I'll have a Budweiser or something like that. It's so innocuous you don't even think about it. Like maybe that guy. Literally, maybe that guy has such shit taste in beer. He drinks Budweiser. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
you
that's
know, who
part of
knows?
that character.
Going back to Leader Carl, that's probably one of the funniest moments I've seen out of State Troopers. Where
Super Troopers?
Super Troopers, where he just argues with it about a liter.
A liter cola.
Liter of cola?
That means I want a large fucking Coke.
Yeah, the story goes that when they went to school in Canada or something,
Yeah.
and that's what they would order. He wanted a liter of iced tea because they don't say large. It was like, you know, like half liter, deciliter, that kind of stuff. And he's like I had like a liter of iced tea. So when he came back to the States, he just kept saying that. He was so used to saying it. I believe that's a story, something like that. But just a liter of cola just sounds so like obnoxious.
Obnoxious. Yeah, it's just not the way you do it.
You mean
It's
a
just,
large?
No, that's just not. And it's so weird how sometimes things like that
For
happen.
a cop,
So it's just like,
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means we're gonna make it extra special for you. All right.
I'm glad to hear that those guys have gone back together to make number 2, which was just crowdfunded. I forgot how much money he made, but hopefully it'll be out shortly.
I think crowdfunding is the future of a lot of the stuff to get
Oh,
away
I
from
think-
all that.
And to jump into
over-advertising.
our video game ones, you were mainly the PlayStation guy, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean,
No?
yeah, all the consoles. I mean,
Okay.
everything
John's a whore.
except
He's
the
a whore.
Xbox. I'm not really.
Yeah, I'll be the Xbox guy.
I've got. I mean, I've got a
John's a whore.
360. Not a huge fan of the Xbox One yet.
I'll
I'll
be-
pick it up for some of the exclusives, but
I'll be a PC master race
Oh,
yeah. Well, I
PC
mean,
Master Race.
PC is pretty fun too.
because
You know-
I can play older,
But-
better games.
But what I was trying to get to, stepping away from movies real quickly, was we saw, because I watched very late at night the PS4 and Xbox, or no, later, the next day, the press conference where they showed all the new games and exclusives,
yeah.
and when they came out and put
Talk
out
about E3,
Shenmue,
of
which
course.
I don't, yes, E3, sorry, thank you. When they put out Shenmue, how it was going to be crowdfunded for 200 mil, and they made 300 mil, and then, you know, Sony was going to pick them up. I'm like, you see the Sony guys right next to him. You know they're developing the game, and it takes a lot more money than $2 million to make Shenmue 3. And I don't know nothing about Shenmue, but I know that it takes a lot of money nowadays to make a very good video game.
Well, the most expensive media product ever released, entertainment media franchise to date, is Destiny at $500 million.
Yes.
And then that
There-
drops
there's-
drastically to
there's
the Pirates of the
some
Caribbean
estimates-
films.
There's some estimates that say that Avatar might have been more expensive, but that
Oh.
they might have hidden some of the costs because for tax purposes,
Yeah.
because they weren't really certain it was going to make as much money as it ended up being. So potentially Avatar might be more expensive.
And we're talking about James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah,
okay.
not the pretty awesome Nickelodeon TV show that's totally worth watching.
Yeah.
yes.
Korra sucks. Korra's lame.
It wasn't that bad.
She's hot.
It just wasn't that bad. The first one was
I like
great.
thick brown girls, and she's a thick brown girl, so I'm like,
I'm glad he left editing on the table.
Nah.
He said it first when we weren't going on before we go on. He's like, I don't know if we should edit anything. I'm like, don't worry, I'm on top of it.
No. Let's just we're all live and uncut.
Yeah.
But the thing
thick
is,
and uncut.
yeah, longer and uncut. I think that crowdfunding is the future, but more for getting people who make the games into their own production companies. You look at Inafune, who created the Mega Man series, was really big. He left Capcom for reasons undisclosed, and now he's making a Mega Man spiritual successor called Mighty Number 9. Looks pretty amazing. I think it looks pretty good. It's basically it's a fighting robot that can jump and shoot and defeats 9 evil bad guys and takes their powers and then, can use those powers to defeat the other bad guys more easily. It's exactly Mega Man,
Yes.
and he gets the right to continue to make it as long as he doesn't call it Mega Man, and I think that's great.
I think
Castlevania, they're going in the same vein.
I think that's the future of most media. I think there's 2 big factors that are going to alter media, which is user interaction. People will be able to kind of pick and choose what they want to watch, when they want to watch it, how they want to watch it,
The Netflix and
what they want to
Hulus
watch.
and-
Yeah,
and-
like that. That is the paradigm that's shifting, and I also think that things are going to be smaller scale for smaller audiences for smaller profit.
Yeah.
The reason why Netflix dominates every other service like it is the fact that they just have like a huge fucking catalog of stuff. It happens that most of it is shit I don't really want to watch.
It's
or
an
things I've
embarrassment of
seen.
riches. It's
Yeah,
just
like
a
oh
hodgepodge.
wow, Buster Keaton. Oh wow, it's this weird movie from Norway. That looks really cool. I don't want to watch any of that stuff. I want to actually I want to watch like something very specific. And the worst thing is, like, as a film student, as a cinephile, there's some stuff that I feel I need to watch that Netflix doesn't have. I can't find it on YouTube. And if I'm like, oh man, I really want to watch The Long Goodbye right now. Okay, let's see. Is it on Netflix Instant Watch? No. All right, so I can either spend $30 a month to wait 3 days for it to come through the mail, or I can just torrent that bitch. Or buy it at fucking Barnes & Noble.
And
like people are pirating stuff more and more because of that.
It's just,
and actually,
it's so much more convenient. Honestly,
Netflix announced, admitted that actually what they do is they follow the torrenting sites, that they follow and monitor what's being torrented and choose that for their lineup. If it gets more torrents,
you can't blame them for that.
If it gets seeded, if people are stealing it more,
I think
they're more likely to put it up. And that's why HBO Go is now. HBO is trying to push HBO Go so hard because,
I think HBO made a huge misstep when they sided with Amazon as opposed to Netflix, because I pay $8 a month for Netflix and it gets a lot of use from my family. It's totally worth the $8, I think, honestly.
Yes.
I don't use it that much, but my family uses it all the time, and there's a ton of stuff for them to watch.
All day, every day, Netflix is playing, either at my house. My dad uses my account. That's the two accounts that we use.
And that's really cool. But if if I didn't have Amazon Prime through my cousin, there's no reason why I would want it, because their selection sucks otherwise. But they have all those HBO shows.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you put those on Netflix, that would be broken, dude.
Yeah,
I threw their hat because they wanted to make more money, so they threw their hat in with the weaker player to try to bump them up to see if they could get on a competitive status. And I don't think that's going to work, because Amazon is not an effective company.
Well, Amazon is an effective company, but just not
to us, but not to them. They don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, not in distributing their film distribution
or making profit.
What I think is my fear is all these like Netflix originals and all that stuff, different companies getting pulled off of Netflix, pulled off of Hulu, moving around from here and there, is that in about 4 or 5 years from now, it's going to be to where every channel has their own $9.99 a month streaming network, and it's going to be back to cable. You have to pay $60 a month to get the 6 channels that you watch. The only difference is you're going to pick and choose which 6 channels you want to watch.
And the worst thing is that the type of content that you want to watch, because that was always a cool thing to me about cable, was that you'd be flipping through the channels on like a Wednesday afternoon or something, and there'd just be some weird fucking show where there was that one on Discovery Channel where this guy would go through and he'd go through and be like, "Hey, I want to test your security system." We'd break into people's houses.
Yeah, it takes a thief. It takes a thief.
Yeah, that show was awesome.
And it's great. And you never would have turned that on. You never would have it takes a thief. Let's watch this on Netflix. But just because you happened to stop on it, and it was either that or Mind of Mencia, you decided, well, okay, nothing's good on Comedy Central for the next 2 hours.
There's also the
let's
thing
go
of
ahead.
the internet at my house is kind of slow, and if there's multiple people all on the internet at the same time, and I want to just have some background noise while I'm on the internet. That's the cool thing about TV is it's just background noise. But with cable, I can just pick and choose. I just put it on. I don't want to seem vaguely smart, so I'm gonna put it on History Channel. I'm gonna seem vaguely stupid. I'm gonna put it on TLC. I want to, oh cool. There's something I can deal with for the next hour and a half on Spike TV. So you just put it on as background noise.
Thank you. We're all still trying to get used to the mics here. I get into it and I forget to check the waves. And then you just go up and down, the little apples, and then the regular waves again.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back, I guess, to the movies, because we jumped way off basis. I wanted to go over movies like Southpaw, Star Wars, bad movies like Hitman, Agent 47.
So, I don't know. Hitman, Agent 47 has the potential to be kind of cool.
I saw how it's gonna kind of be filmed, and I just thought I'm probably gonna hate this movie.
I think that's a torrent right there. That's not worth $1.
Sure.
That's a
Please torrent this film. No,
Terminator Genesis is a torrent. Right
no,
there.
I'm going to see it in theaters. I'm sorry. I'm going to support our governor and go and see.
The governor.
He's not our governor.
What?
He's not our governor. He hasn't been a governor in 3 years.
I thought.
Don't
once
tell
you're
John
governor,
that.
you stay governor. That's the rule, right?
Until
Arnold
you're killed.
Schwarzenegger is the governor.
Yeah. try and prove him wrong. No,
He was correct in his pronunciation of California his whole life. Yeah, because that's how you pronounce it in Spanish. It's California.
the thing is though, with Hitman, getting back onto the topic, I never played the games. Like, I don't know. I'm a huge game nut. I play a lot of games, especially
cool.
from that time.
They're cool games.
I think when those games were coming out, I had my Wavebird in my hand, and I couldn't stop playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. Like, I just my GameCube was like my BFF, and
Bursting
me and
the
him.
flames.
Yeah, and I mean, just like me and the GameCube, we couldn't be separated. It was always Mario Sunshine or.
John doesn't
or
have a
something.
heart. It's just a GameCube that's running a Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Just 24/7. Yeah, no, I'm actually powered by NVIDIA media sources, so I run off the Dolphin Pro chip. It's true. I am actually a living
Yeah.
GameCube.
All right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. Hitman is a torrent. Terminator Genesis. If I wasn't obligated by being my brother's birthday month and everything, and he asked me months ago, back when we were both excited to see it, I that's a torrent.
I'm gonna
What was
see
the
it
other
on
one?
Sunday.
Southpaw. Southpaw is a red box. Southpaw. I will
okay.
spend $1 to see Southpaw.
I
But
probably
I will not
go.
spend $1 to see what is the other one that's coming out? Creed.
Creed, yes. I don't know if you told
I've
John.
never,
about
I've never
this.
even heard of Creed.
Creed,
Creed.
They're making a
spin-off of Rocky, where Rocky is now the trainer, and he's training Apollo Creed's grandson, who is played by Michael B. Jordan, and obviously he's pretty small, so it would be like fighting lightweights instead of heavyweights.
He's
so
like,
like
no,
they did
he's
it.
like a featherweight. That's the
Featherweight, okay. Well, I thought it'd be like welterweight, to be honest with you, because Rocky, or not Rocky, but the guy who plays Rocky, Stallone, is pretty short himself. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna bump him up to welter.
Stallone was heavyweight.
Yeah.
Him versus Carl Weathers. That's a heavyweight match. But Michael B. Jordan is tiny. He's like your size, Mike. He's
I'm
a welterweight.
5'10".
He's a
I'm sorry, 5'9".
It's based off of like weight, and that he is not.
I don't know. You're
like,
the
that's
sports
not
guy.
an
Is it
inter-
based off of weight or height?
It's based off of weight, but usually guys might fight at welterweight. Heck,
Fine, he's a welterweight. Nobody cares about welterweight. It's the welterweight champion of the world. It's the featherweight champion of the world. Nobody
Russ,
gives a
I'm gonna
shit.
tell you why you're wrong. Because the guys who go up, like the big names,
Terry Crews should be Apollo Creed's son, and
See-
Rocky should be training Terry Crews.
I love how you
And
try to
see, that
divert
would-
the conversation with a good idea, but but no, welterweight. It's guys usually bomb up there for the main fights. God, I can't believe I can't remember. Pacquiao has fought in welterweight. Money Mayweather's fought in welterweight. Big names fighting welterweight. Right now, God, what's his name? I think his last fight was in welterweight. Canelo Alvarez, the big ginger. He's a ginger Mexican. Best way to explain him to you. Welterweight. I don't hate the guy, like him, but I love to make fun of him like that. But
What
he
about
will
Little
beat
Mac?
you.
Is he a welterweight?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
What about what's the,
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. No,
But yeah, but going back to it, that is probably a better idea. But I'm still interested in Creed. I will pay my money to go watch it in movie theaters. You say yourself, Rocky Balboa was probably one of the better films that he had in years.
of the 6 original Rockies, it goes like it goes 1, 6, 3, 4, 2, 5.
I've seen Rocky Balboa. It's, of all the Rocky films, Balboa is the only one that I've seen. And I don't
It's a
know.
good movie, isn't it?
It was. It was
Yeah,
a really good
it was
movie.
sweet.
I
So-
enjoyed it.
You
I-
got to give him
it
some
was-
try.
If it was very true to that character, I was very cynical about it when it came out, but after seeing it,
No
I
way.
thought
You were cynical?
cynical? Yeah.
No, I don't.
You're
you
a
don't have
fanboy for Nintendo? Get the fuck out! No
You don't have
way.
a cynical bone in your body.
God, yeah. No, I'm entirely genuine.
Yeah.
Oh,
You say cynical,
Yes.
I say honest.
like because I would
And
like
smart.
I would like it if it was like what you said, Terry Crews, and it'd be heavyweights again, and you would just have these two big monsters guys going at it.
you gotta go in there and you gotta fucking do the thing.
But I think
yo, you gotta go. You gotta help.
I don't do that shit. That's how I work.
Power.
Power, bye. That's how I do it.
Old Spice, bitch.
oh man, see, I would love to have Terry Crews be his own thing.
And
Oh.
they're already connected because of the terrible
Exactly,
Expendables movie.
exactly. But I think Michael B.
that's probably
Jordan.
the direction that Stallone wanted to go.
Yeah.
He's writing and directing it too, right? I I mean,
Michael B. Jordan is a capable actor. I think he'll pull it off. Just that'd be it. That's my end of it.
All bullshit aside, I actually really like Sylvester Stallone. Like, I don't agree with his politics in a number of ways, but I mean, I think the fact that he writes, directs, he acts, and he's pretty good at all of it. And
yes,
he's very consistent to his own.
He wrote Rocky.
Stallone is a good. I like Stallone.
Yeah, I think he's a very multi-talented guy. I mean, like, there's certain aspects of him, but I think he seems like a decent fellow, and I think I respect his ability, his work ethic.
Yeah,
and Rocky and the first Rambo, First Blood, is one of my favorite movies.
I called my dad
Rambo
watching
is
it
good.
the other day.
Yeah, Rambo is
fucking
amazing.
dope when he gets on that 50 cal and just starts blowing people the fuck apart. That was the greatest thing I ever
Yeah.
saw.
The new one, the newest one. The,
oh god,
yeah,
when he just just shreds through the front.
When he just blows up that Claymore, dude, that was just insane.
What?
In the newest Rambo movie, when he sets up the Claymore to the log, and he's being chased by the people through the woods.
Oh yeah,
that was sick, man. You just see that explosion. It was good. Yeah, no, that movie was awesome.
Throw another title at us.
Let's see if Seth MacFarlane can make another hit. Ted 2. I don't think he can. Ted 1, I saw in the movie theaters. I really enjoyed it.
The first Ted was funny in bits and pieces.
I don't know. I love him.
It was a funny movie. Yeah, but you're a fan of Family Guy. I like Family Guy to
not
me
so much
is
anymore.
funny
I
in
mean,
bits and pieces. Like,
it's
there's
quotable.
like a joke on an episode of Family Guy that's really hysterical, but the rest of it is just garbage.
Yeah, I think Family Guy is really hit or miss to me too. I just think that
I felt like Ted was the exact same thing. It was hit or miss throughout the whole thing.
I think that I can see that definitely. I just think that it was a funny idea, it was a funny concept, the whole character. I think that it's a funny movie. It is a stoner movie. You know what I mean? It's the kind of movie.
Yes.
Maybe we should call it a popcorn movie. If by popcorn you mean marijuana, but no, it's funny. It was genuinely funny. I liked it a lot, and I liked A Million Ways to Die in the West.
I did not. I thought A Million Ways to Die in the West was just.
I couldn't get into it.
It was just bad. It was way too long, and it felt like every single joke was as gross and crass as possible. And the only good jokes Seth MacFarlane had, he just wrote all the funny stuff for himself.
Well, I think that's kind of the way he does things, because he's used to playing like 90% of all of the characters. So he's like, this is a funny joke, I'll say it like this, and then here's a funny joke, I'll say it like that. I actually, I remember, I think I was listening
to. He would
to
benefit from having like another writer be involved. I don't think. And I don't think he's so capable a director.
I can definitely see that. I think that it would be great to see Seth MacFarlane do something of somebody else's work. Somebody else direct, somebody else wrote, just him starring as like the friend of the guy that the movie's about, just to kind of get some more acting chops going. But I remember I was listening to probably, DVD special feature of some kind for something that he did. And Alex Bornstein was talking about how a lot of the times they'll have like an extra or someone who does like additional voices, and Seth MacFarlane would like re-record it like over and over, do like 20 takes, and then be like, all right, we're done. And then when they would see it air, that person's voice would be cut out, and it'd be Seth MacFarlane doing that voice. Like, he's so obsessed with getting the joke done perfect that like after like 10 or 15 takes of like the extra doing the joke that the supermarket attendant does, he's just like, all right, we're good, we're done. They leave, and then he just goes, this is how it's done, and he records it, and they're like, now use my take. And I don't know if that's like a dedication to comedy or maybe a little self-absorption. But
I think he is a little self-absorbed, honestly. Feeling I get, especially when you have like such a huge success so quickly. I mean, when you have 3 different shows on at the same time.
I mean, he came out of nowhere and he blew up, and then he was, bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, Family Guy, when it got canceled the first and second and maybe the third time,
and the second time it got canceled, he had American Dad that just came out, and American Dad blew up too, and then they brought back Family Guy.
Well, American Dad got canceled and then brought back. It also got canceled twice.
I see. I didn't realize that I got canceled.
The only one of those 3 that I actually thought was funny was the Cleveland Show. Like, the Cleveland Show was like legitimately funny throughout.
Yeah,
like, it was
hilarious.
Like, ow, be it. Dude. Like, it was hysterical. I loved that show.
Yeah. I wasn't that much a fan. To me, it's American Dad, but that's probably because I could relate to American Dad because my father was a federal agent.
Oh, see,
and sometimes I call him Stan Smith when he's being an asshole.
Yeah, no, I like American Dad a lot too. I think all of his shows besides Family Guy are better than Family Guy. I think Family Guy's just kind of run its course, and he's just keeping it going for that money.
I think the
Yeah.
only thing of his that I'm like, because Cleveland Show is kind of a tangent thing. Like he's a part of it, but he's not such an active.
Yeah, he
part
actually
of it.
stopped doing the voice of the bear like after the first season. or
Really?
something like that.
Yeah.
He
So
kind of dropped
I
away, and he
think-
gave all the rights to somebody else to write and direct it and stuff.
I think it's a stronger show for that because it gets much funnier in the second season. They start doing way more arch stuff.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing is Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Comedy because it's just all of those weird little like asides from the show. Those are the funniest parts of it. The plot of each episode, whatever, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's those little asides where weird things happen. It's just a
The
whole like it's
non-sequiturs.
just an ad. I know what it is, John.
It's
just-
call it what it
Don't
is.
try to be clever, John. I'm the clever one.
All of a
Hush,
sudden.
hush, buddy. It's okay. It's all right. We're good here.
Stop,
This is
stop
a safe
petting
zone.
me. Stop petting me.
All right. So,
But
no,
yeah,
you're right.
it's Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy is, I think, a much better thing. It's all on YouTube, so you can sit down and watch it
yeah.
illegally.
Yeah. No, I mean it aired thanks to Burger King. It was brought to YouTube directly first.
What
This Cavalcade of Comedy.
was that?
It was YouTube first. It was originally aired on YouTube.
Because of Burger King?
Yeah, Burger King paid for it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, last thing I
Back
want
when
to.
they were trying to be really like non sequitur.
Yeah, with the king and everything like that. Yeah.
Which if you go to the 99 cent store I went to, they actually have the Xbox
Burger King
360
games.
Burger
Yeah.
King games for like $1.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wish I had a 360 so I could play these terrible games.
Oh gosh.
What you think? Tell us. Come on, jump
Well,
in.
sorry.
anytime.
I'm sorry. Last thing about Ted was I saw a few jokes that are from Family Guy, and I immediately realized this is just a money ploy at this point. I'm not going to see this in movie theaters.
I will.
I'm gonna throw out probably three last movies and probably be done. I'm gonna go big. One will be Spectre. Another one just came out, Inside and Out, and the last one would be The Hateful Eight by I'm pretty sure who you already know that's making
Hateful
that.
Eight?
Really, you actually this time you don't know.
Who?
What's
Quentin
the
Tarantino is Hateful Eight. He's redoing a movie, another old-fashioned cowboy movie.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
Quentin Tarantino is one of those directors that when they make something new, you just sit down and watch it. Like there's, I think every cinephile like has a group of directors that when they make something, you just sit down and fucking watch
You
it.
just watch it.
Like for me, like if Scorsese makes something, I go to the theater, I sit down and watch it.
And
I
you
don't
watch
even need to know what it is or see the trailer. All I need to see is like if he, like I had no idea what Boardwalk Empire was. All I knew was that he was producing it and directed the first episode, so I watched it.
Yeah.
Like but I think everybody who's like a cinema snob, as you guys would put it, has like a group of directors that like when they see that name, they just go and
I would,
see
yeah.
that
Then you go
movie.
and you watch it.
The Wachowskis, like anytime I see, like I went to see fucking Jupiter Ascendant in theaters. Like I like the Wachowski brothers. It's weird, but yeah, Tarantino's on that list too.
I mean, if Quentin Tarantino releases something, you go and you watch it. I don't love like Die Hard like a lot of people do Quentin Tarantino stuff, but it's good. It's never bad.
Yes.
By any means. It's never really bad.
I don't think he's ever truly made just a simply bad movie, as far as in my
The
recollection.
thing for me though is that I grew up a little tangentially. I don't think as hardcore as he is on a lot of those movies that he's riffing on.
Yeah.
So like like old pot boilers and film noir and kung fu movies and stuff and the really shitty westerns. Like I was into those when I was a kid because of my dad. So I get the joke. When I'm watching them, I get the reference. I know, okay, there's Django Unchained. Like, why isn't he dragging the fucking coffin behind him? Like, I get the joke, even tangentially, because I kind of know, at least in passing, what he's referring to. Maybe not as specifically as he does. So, I don't even need to. I really don't even follow like what's coming out that's new because it's just whatever looks interesting to me, I go and watch. By any means necessary, even if I have to not illegally download it.
The torrent.
Through certain, person-to-person basis.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't never do anything like that.
No. I don't have
never would I
illegal
ever.
programs on my computer at all.
No.
Okay. Moving past that, I brought Inside and Out because one of the things everyone brought up was this is the best. This is what I heard before the rumors was this was the best movie that Pixar has ever made by far.
They said about every like great Pixar movie.
I'm
They
pretty
said
sure
that.
they've said that about every single Pixar movie ever made, like the day of release. It's like A Bug's Life, the best Pixar film to date. And it's like,
See,
isn't
I
this
can't
the-
remember
the
that back.
big-
Like I
no,
remember
I'm
the
pretty sure it's
movie.
the second one that they've ever made. Yes, but it's the best
big thing
that
for
they've
Bugs
ever
Life
made.
is that it was the third full length computer generated movie. Like I remember the marketing Ants as the second.
Yeah.
You know, like that was a big deal for them. Like they didn't do it for Toy Story because they didn't know it was going to be a big deal. But Bugs Life and Ants both got,
Check it out. It's really cool, right? Computer animated.
computers, right? And I think Bugs Life was a much better movie than Ants in a lot of ways.
I would have to agree with that. But no, I don't know. I haven't seen Inside and Out. I do. I am actually a big fan of Pixar. I like most of the stuff they've done. I don't share the same love for toy cars that they do. So the whole Cars movies. Well, I was watching an interview with him, and he was just talking about cars and how he loves them and plays with them, and he's always wanted to make a movie about them. And I don't know. I just didn't like cars. It just confuses me, and it makes me angry.
It was cute.
I get confused and angry. I'm like, why do they have steering wheels? Why do they like why?
Why do they have? Why do they exist at all?
When they
they're
need
cars?
fuel, like where did they like did how did they get the
Is
fuel
that
to
like
begin
the
with?
butt? Like, are you giving
Yeah.
them like an enema to
Like
rehydrate
how did
them?
they exist? Like I mean,
How did they fuck? How do they reproduce?
Like, yeah, like I mean, come on,
I mean,
like
like,
cars
what-
are just
like-
appear.
Yeah, she
It
goes to
just
the doc-
makes
like,
me angry.
Does the
It's
girl
just-
car go to the doctor with like a dented fender, and he has to call like he has to call like
If you repaint
the
a car
police
pink,
and
does
like
it become a female car?
I think that she's being abused and like no, we're just into really rough sex.
Yeah, no, I
You
mean,
know?
there's the
I fell down the freeway. You know.
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of a weird concept, and I mean, like they live in garages, but it's like, where's the house? Like,
How do they build if they don't have opposable thumbs? How do they build things?
Yeah, it's just the whole concept is just
Mike's
it's silly.
completely tuned out.
To me, the Pixar movie Cars 2, and now Planes and Planes Fire
whatever.
Rescue, and then
all.
Planes 5 and Cars 6 are all
Too
just
fa-
it just Cars 7
5.
Faster and Furious. They just feel like a really long old Disney sketch, like an old Disney Merry Melody that just doesn't end for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, like I said, it was cute the first time, but it's just lingered on too
Okay.
long, way past its.
Because
welcome.
Yeah.
I went
Like, it
in
was a
and checked.
But the first one's cute.
And Larry
enough
the
that you
Cable Guy
will-
is a racist bigot and should not be in any children's movie. Period.
and a fraud.
Yeah,
But,
and a
it's-
complete fraud.
Yeah,
I'm calling you out, Larry.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Zootopia?
No.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is Disney Animation Studios, Walt Disney Animation Studios, and Pixar kind of joined at the hip now because John Lasseter became the I don't know. He's
The king of all animation.
He's the
Yeah.
head honcho there at
Yeah.
Walt Disney Animation Studios, and he's still like chairman of the board at or whatever the fuck at Pixar. So they're
Yeah.
now joined at the hip. So at the same time that Walt Disney Animation Studios are kind of going through what they're calling like the second Disney Renaissance because the last few movies have not been crap.
Yeah, no.
Except for Wreck-It Ralph was fucking awesome, and I like Tangled because I bang the shit out of her. But yeah,
I think that's part of my.
you're gonna cut that.
I don't know.
Please
You
don't
gotta
cut
leave
that.
that.
Okay, I'll leave it at there.
Okay, all right, because Rapunzel is bangable, but let's just keep on going. All
I
right,
just
come
find
on.
it funny.
Mike,
Come on.
Rapunzel.
I see it now.
Come on. So, but yeah, no, they're doing a new movie, Zootopia.
Yeah, and the second you watch it, all I could think of was like furry fandom. Like it's seriously. He starts off naked, like he explains what anthropomorphic means, and he starts off naked, and then they put clothes on him, and then there's like a little bunny, but he's a fox, so he's chasing after the bunny. And I'm just thinking, like,
So
dude,
it's quite literally.
it's like
furries.
it's like
Well, sorry,
they're literally furries.
fursuiters. I'm sorry.
Not fursuiters.
See, furries can be attractive. See, like, I mean, who wouldn't give it to Gadget? But what I'm saying is, like, fursuiters, that's
They're
just
not
gross and
fursu-
disgusting.
They're not fursuiters, but it's very like if you know anything about like the furry fandom at all.
Yeah.
it's so like almost to the point where it feels like they're catering to that specific demographic.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
hey,
learning.
Like watch like if you,
Furries have money and like to go to the movies too. So, you know,
yeah,
more power to
they're
them.
just
you know.
average
I'm just-
people in animal suits who
I'm-
to do animal stuff.
those are different. Those
Yeah.
are those are fursuiters. There's a huge
Yep.
there's a huge kaleidoscope of weirdness
Yeah, but
associated with.
fursuiters call themselves furries, so let's not even go down
yeah,
that road.
but then there,
Yeah.
Put on some bunny
but then
ears,
there's-
pretend
but
you're a
then there's
fox. That's
bronies
cute.
Who like to clop, who consider themselves.
Okay, let's not
furries.
even
Okay,
go
all right,
there.
We're not going to talk about.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about My Little Pony.
Because John likes My Little Pony.
Okay, all right.
To be fair, he has a niece, so it's all good.
Yeah,
Last few minutes, We have left. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because you guys go into moments where I have no idea, and I'm just like flabbergasted and learning.
Look up encyclopedia. Look up furry fandom and just read the Wikipedia article.
And type in the word clopping and Google clopping. In fact, if you're listening to this right now and you don't know what it is,
Google image search clopping.
Yeah, just clop. It's CLOPPING.
I suggest
and
you
then
do
hate
this
yourself
at home.
a little bit if you do this. Please attempt this at home. It's awful. I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Movies that the last two movies, last 2 thoughts in this 3 minutes, I guess.
turn safe search off.
Duly
Star
noted.
Wars 7, Spectre. Pretty sure movies we'll be talking
Spectre,
coming up.
Spectre, I'm curious about because I actually want to see if they can make another modern Bond movie that's good other than Casino Royale. Because of the 3 that have come out thus far, 2 of them were kind of mediocre. I mean, Skyfall had its moments, but I didn't like the ending. I felt it was
I'm
really
gonna have to agree
pretty.
with you on that.
Huh?
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Skyfall. I think was actually really good throughout until you get towards the ending, and it was just. It just didn't feel like a James Bond movie.
Yeah, it felt I think the difference between Skyfall and Casino Royale was that Casino Royale hit all of those marks, but felt like a true Bond movie,
Yeah.
like a modern true
No,
Bond
I
movie.
agree, 'cause
and
at
the
the-
other two, like, what the fuck was Quantum of Solace even about?
Dude, and I was about to say, that was the
I kinda like
worst
Quantum of Solace.
one. To me, that was the worst one. I mean,
It's
well,
not-
it
it's-
wasn't
it's
bad
one of the worst.
altogether, but it
You know
was
what?
not
I
great.
didn't start watching Bond movies until Pierce Brosnan, and so
I think a lot of people our age weren't into it because it kind of
it was kind of like my dad's movies. You know, it was like,
my
can we watch
dad. Yeah,
something
my
else?
dad. But my dad got me into it too. I think it's the same
Yeah.
deal with you because you're as much a Bond aficionado as I am. It's one of the few things that we have in common.
Yeah, and so I went back and started watching some of the old ones, and I don't know. I mean, Casino Royale was a good remake. I think.
Yeah.
As far as that
And
goes.
Star Wars 7 it's going to make a ridiculous amount of money. They're going to make all 3.
See, I will
But
not go watch that
I'm gonna
movie
call it
when
now.
it first comes out.
I'm going to call it now in the last few minutes we have for our podcast. It's supposed to be an hour and went way over, but I'm going to call it right now that it will not live up to people's expectations.
But when does it ever?
No.
Does it ever? Yeah, no.
No,
I mean,
but
of course,
no,
there's going to be
to the
millions
point-
of people whose
That's
expectations
the thing, though.
are going
Is
to be
like
lost.
that's the thing, though. Is the real like shitty part about the Phantom Menace is that it's a crap movie that totally destroyed people's expectations.
Well, so-
and they did that consistently over 3 movies. And I guarantee you that it will not be a good movie.
I think that these 3 new ones that will inevitably come out, will be better than the last 3 ones. I think they're going to be higher quality and production
That's not
value
really
and stuff.
saying much, though.
No, I know. But also, I think that the reason that this kind of stuff can keep getting made and keep selling and keep living up to people's expectations is because parents are so excited to take their kids to see something that they loved when they were kids, and it's just going to
Yeah.
continue in
Yeah,
that fashion.
no
They can sit
doubt
there,
it's
like the
gonna-
movie could literally just be like a black screen, but if their kids love it, the parents can stare off into space.
Yeah,
But they're there at a theater watching a Star Wars movie in theaters with their kid. And it's the same thing with Jurassic Park and any other franchise where 30 years later they come back and do it.
I absolutely agree. My mom was a Star Wars. Oh, not really a fan, but she was one who, like, I'm not a fan of Star Wars, but I'll go watch the movies. I watched
Yeah.
the cartoons. My mom liked the Star Wars movies. And I forgot what was the other thing that you mentioned. She's the one who got me into James Bond movies. I started watching movies with her, and then I got into them because I forgot what TV channel it was, where it had marathons. So that's why I like James Bond,
Yeah,
and that's why I'm
Every
interested.
Christmas is the 5 Days of Bond. I remember that.
Yeah.
But as Russ is pointing out, that is all the time we have for today. We've definitely gone over our time limit, but I think we'll be fine.
It's all good shit, and Mike's gonna edit it and make me sound better. than I do.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Make me sound eloquent.
Want me add in T Russ every single time I say Russ?
Huh?
Or what is it called? What do you call it?
R-Train.
R-Train.
R-Train, damn it.
R-Train.
R-Train.
So, yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. This has been Pop Culture Droppings. We really appreciate it. We look forward to doing next week's show. And again, thank you very much.